Welcome to the Clay Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 2 of Santhana Lakshmi painting. It's one of the 8 forms of Lakshmis or goddess of wealth, health, abundance. So we are in class 2 and my name is Gomati Sivasankaran. What we are going to do today in class 2 is very important because in class 1 we had been doing planning. We have not been touching the canvas as such, isn't it? But this is going to be very different because right now we are going to get into real work, meaning getting started into the exhibition phase of what we have planned. Yes. So I already have all the equipments ready. And before we get on to this, let me just remind you there is this oil painting basics. There is a proprietary course that's available free in my a link in my website and also in the Udemy. Please do take a look at that. It's only a couple of hours of time, but it's going to give you an abundant amount of understanding into the canvas and also all the materials and what to use, what not, what really goes well and such. And also we include the layer 1 in the basics. So I'm expecting that you have already done layer 1 and are ready to get started, get go from minute 1 of this class. If you haven't done so, please do that and come back to this session. So welcome you again to the session and let's look at the things that I'm going to use today. I have this canvas, of course, that is already done dry of the layer one, and we have our references. I have it, printed, and you know that I have done the gridding also on this. You can also download the gridded format directly, or have the one that you want to grade, whatever you feel like. In terms of grading, I'm going to use a zero brush and a brush number 1, and I'm going to use 2 different colors to grade so that I can show you the difference between gridding on the superstructure and also some of the reference images that we have here. I'm going to do it, but it's not necessarily needed. If you are clear with gridding, you can just stick to one color, a burnt umber, anything that is fitting fine with you. I have tissues and earbuds ready to clean up if I make a mistake. And for the oil, I have the cold pressed raw linseed oil poured in a old tin lid. And what else? Yes, I have this. I do have measuring equipments right here. I do have some more measuring equipments by the side if I need. So larger ones, smaller ones, and also I have some rulers like these that are available once you buy some paint. I think it comes along with that, so I find this really handy. I have this also with me. The palette is this use and throw palette that I work on, so that's all fine. And I guess I am ready to get started. Yes, so we're going to start gridding. As per the superstructure, the plan is that we turn them into a 10 by 10 grid. Remember, it's a 3 by 3 centimeter grid that we need to create, but that's going to be extrapolated. This is the size here that's going to be extrapolated into a 10 by 10 centimeter grids. So we're going to create 10 by 10 centimeter grids right away. And I am going to bring this to the front so you can see more of what I have here. Okay, so when I get started with this interesting phase of marking grid lines, there is something interesting that I would like to show you as well. So when I put my measuring equipment like this here, all I see is that this is 40 centimeters right here, but it's slightly over or above or away from the edge or the ridge of my canvas. Why is that so? It's just because this cloth that is stretched on a wooden frame and bent. So there is this tiny portion of bend or quarter of a centimeter that goes to the left and the right. So there is always a difference on that. Please be aware of that when you start marking. Yeah. So I'm going to use this glue to mark. I have already loaded it here, so I'm not taking it from the tube. Mark 10, 20 and 30. Let's do the marking again. Being aware of that space. Even though it's a minute detail, it does make a difference when you're measuring and you don't want that. Huh? Right. So now and you can already notice that I'm using the paint to do the grading lines. And by now, if you're wondering, I prefer using my pencil or a pen to do the grids and the drawing, and then possibly I will be ready to paint. That is also okay with me. You could do that. I am not against, but just be mindful that you need to draw with a light hand, because it's not oil, it's another medium on the canvas. You could create really strong, if you are not light-handed, you could really create strong impressions on the canvas, and the lead in the pencil is also a strong color. That would blend in with your paint and you wouldn't really like it in some places. So please be aware of that. Be light-handed when you draw the grids or when you draw the structure of the images as well. Yeah. Otherwise it's okay. Yeah. So let's get on to good. So I am doing the same thing here. I'm aware that it's going to go a little over. It's 50 centimeters, but it will be slightly over. So I'll be placing the measuring equipment slightly in between to capture the minor difference and make sure that it's in balance. We do the same exercise slightly away here as well. Go. I think I am done with the marking, so continue with the grading. I like the idea of grading with the help of the oil paint itself. So in a way, it blends in with, even though it gets dry, when we work on layers over layers, but it just, somewhere down the line, it just disappears to the level that it is not a disturbance anymore to the picture. So and it's organic kind of, you're using the same material that you are working on, yeah, for the grid. So it's just kind of organic. That's how I felt about this idea. So I just started continuing to paint those grids as well with a brush. And now name these as columns A, B, C, and D. Rows 1, 2. So that's a row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have it done. Would rather prefer to take another color vermilion. I think I need a little more of it here. Okay. So let me take another brush. Have this brush number 1 ready. I'm going to use that. Where should I place these other grids? Isn't that confusing? Let's see. Let's look at one thing at a time. So we have 2 sets of grids to make. No, here. So one is the grid of this girl, and then there is this baby. Let's start with the girl first. That's the center, isn't it? Where is she? The face is right here on the centroid here between columns B and C. Yeah. So let's mark that as our position. So if I mark that as my position, then I'm looking at the face here also has the forehead covered due to the presence of a crown, and the crown will go above. So I'm just keeping that in mind. I'm saying that if this top row 1 enters this block 1, that it's a good idea to place it, start it here and have it as a center here, have this block itself 10 by 10 centimeter block, which is to be split into 2 by 2 centimeters, small little grids to be placed here. Here in between B and C, right in between B and C, so it's just right here. So I'm going to mark that first. To mark that, I need measuring equipment, so I'm going for that. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Done. That was about the vertical ones. Let's do the vertical lines first. So I'm just doing it. It need not necessarily be what do you call a clear line. I'm just doing it in a way that it is visible for me and also visible on camera for you. So I'm using my own hand, but I think it's also helpful to use the cotton used to drawing lines directly from dot to dot, but still it's helpful to do this way as well. So I'm going to do that. The last grid. So there you go with the horizontal grids. Let's look at the vertical grids. Let's look at the horizontal ones. The horizontal ones will have to go in a way that they are, the first 2 centimeters are rightly above this in row 1, and the other 8 centimeters are here and they row 2. So I'm marking 0. This is 2. This is 4. And a 6 and 8 and 10. There you go. Yes, this is fine for me to proceed with the yeah, this line is already here, but I'm just going to cover it up with this color. We managed fine with this grid. There's another. Oh, sorry, the grid comes here. That's the right one. So I'm going to slightly erase the wrong line. Okay, so we have the grid for the girl. And then we need to do the grid for the baby. And I think we decided that the baby shouldn't be seated like this. So in the way the baby is seated, the baby's foot is actually on the palm of the Lakshmi, Santhana Lakshmi image. Santhana Lakshmi is the goddess of progeny. Yes. So that means the child is in her palms. But remember, we said that we also want to attract attention of any misunderstanding that there is a young mother or a not even a teenage, underage girl as a mother. So we wanted to create a slight distance between the girl's face and also, not seated on the lap, rather popping out of the flower. So somewhere really underneath here. So I'm thinking of the space where the baby girl should go should be somewhere over here, maybe amidst, in the middle of row 3 and 4 in column C, somewhere in column C. That's where I see her to be placed. So I'm going to start blocking the grid. Again, it's 2 by 2 centimeter grids. That is a 10 centimeter block. And I'm looking at column C in between columns, rows 3 and 4. Slightly right here. Okay. Looks fantastic. So that's an interesting challenge. Let's get started with this. So I'm going to do this in a way that the maximum of the face comes inside this block. Exactly, or maybe, yeah. I think we can use this block fully. Yeah, can we use this block fully? Looks like we can use this block fully to do it, but so that's going to be our 2 and 4, 6 and 8. 10 is already here. We have marked 0, and we will use those lines, but the horizontal grid should start. Where should they start? Her head has to be, halfway. So can we say that, yeah. So if we have to have it here, then it makes sense that we give her a good space here to 4, 6, 8, and 10. So I'm going to just quickly start creating the grid so you get the clarity what exactly are we talking about. That's 1 row. That's the row. And then there you go with the columns. That's exactly where the face of the child is going to be. So it's going to look like she's popping out of the lotus flower on which Santhana Lakshmi is seated. So let's also do some nice things about marking them as A, B, C, and D, and E. 2, 3, 4, and 5. See, that's all why I said it is helpful to paint everything, because you can easily cover them in the layers that are coming. A, B, C, D, and E. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fantastic. So let's get started with the girl image first. One at a time. So we have interesting set of activities to work with right now. So we are getting started with this. I'm just going to do something here. For me, I want another color, so I'm just going to be mixing this blue with this vermilion to get another color. It's brown, and it is helpful for me to draw with this color. Whereas I'm going to get started with when you get started with a painting like this, first thing is to just cool down and say, okay, where is the eye? She's a beautiful, pleasant, giving eye, and it's in row 3 and freely crisscrossing columns B, C, and C and D. Yeah, and I start with the pupil iris, and it's right on top of this B and C and C and D. So I'm going to start marking that little circle first. Yeah. Good. So I have marked those circles. So this really brings us down to the basic of, it's just a circle to mark, or a small little dot to mark. And then let's go over that and create the upper eye line. Ready? Do the same here. Yes. And the under eye line, I think she's an Australian. I don't remember now. It's been a while with all these images. So yeah, beautiful eye line. So let's do that. And we have managed the eye lines. Can we do the eyebrow? It's slightly over. It's in row 2. And let's place them also likewise. Where's the nose? It's right in there in C3. Yeah, let's place the pores first. And this helps that we have a line in between to, help us mark kind of. So I'm just doing the pores first. And then marking the curves. I'm going to keep the pores slightly. Okay, I'm going to do this again because it's kind of, this blue line is distorting, so I'm just rubbing that off with the help of my earbud. Remember, this earbud is not to be used for ears. It's not good. So I'm just marking the nose. And I think this is fine to do the curve. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do much of this here. Yeah, just leave the stroke there, suggesting it kind of. Yeah. And now the lip is actually in somewhere in 4. Now I see why. We could possibly give a slight at least in my case, that I see the proportions, could possibly bring the nose slightly down, even though that I see where I have drawn the eye, it looks like I could bring it slightly down because of the way I have drawn it. So I'm just doing that. And then the lip line goes like a, yeah, she's smiling, yeah? So there's this nice lip line here. Okay, and I'm not going to do the teeth. I will just do the underlip, the curve. It's slightly flat, thin lip. Yeah, I can see that it helps to bring the nose slightly down. I'm going to do the nice curve in the chin. Okay, the lip has to be slightly thinner. Touch that ever so lightly here. So it's, yeah, helping here, kind of. You have to make it even thinner here, so I'm going to just work on that a bit. So it's it's fine, and let's do the jawline. And I'm wondering where I did things wrong, because if it is between 2 and 3, then that's 2 and 3. That's exactly where the eye is. In 3, we have the nose and also the lip. So everything goes slightly up. So sorry for that. Let's do this one more time here. Something isn't looking right in this case. So cleaned up. Oils is also easier to rub off. Even if you need a little more oil to do that, it will help in the process. We need to be careful with this. I'm just being cautious on where I want to do the nose. So that's the nose. Now I get the mistake that I did, and I'm just going to see to it that it doesn't repeat. It is going to come down ever so lightly, so it's not going to be an exact, but even though it's not fitting in the exact, the proportion according to which I'm drawing here starts improving now. Yeah, this is kind of better. Slightly flat. Okay. Yes, and then the jawline comes over, huh? It is stretching beyond 4, huh? Let's see, how do we attach the jawline to her cheek? There is an angular, look to her. Just see that. A slight angle there when the curve goes up to her forehead, yeah? And I'm going to do the same thing here. There is this beautiful angle. And now I can see that, it's not exactly the same size that I have tried to do it, because with this 2 centimeter block, it looks like everything is crunched into the space and it doesn't justify our picture. So I'm just expanding it. Even though it's a detail, I'm expanding it a bit here. Her ear has to come somewhere over here, and it's so thin, it's just almost around there. Yeah, see the same thing here. Yes, and let's do her hair now. I'm just going to go ahead and space it out nicely. This, and you see that the hair comes out like this. Yeah, I was tied into a pony, possibly falling down on her side like this. That's pretty. Yeah, her face needs to go slightly thinner. We could do that. Yeah, I guess I'm liking this face, even though it's not the exact same image. Now we can work on this, and we should work on her smile as well. Not going to dwell on this for a long time now. Just checking out that it's fitting in to the extent that we need, and the neckline comes out here nicely. Fair enough. And I'm going to, before we work on the collar, we don't need to work on the collar and such. I'm going to give her this beautiful curve already, covering the neck, kind of, thinking of jewelry or anything that could be there for the superstructure, and already building that and leaving that out right now. So let's go and jump directly into the picture of this baby. It's going to come right up here, isn't it? So let's see how she is. She's a bright little one. Beautiful eyes. Oh. Stronger eyes. Where are they? And then crisscross also. Let's keep that in mind. Okay. She is in, the eyes are in B. 3, crossing B3 and 4. B3 and 4. So right here. So I'm just going to place a dot here. The other eye is just on the D3 here. Is that making a parallel? Yes, I think. Let's do the eye. This is I think this is a hybrid child. It's not a one particular country representing. That's pretty, and I like the idea here. Yes, beautiful eyes. Where's the eyebrows slightly above, right here. Crossing B3, C3, and D2. The nose is in C4. Most of it, at least, yeah. And her lips, pretty lips, are crossing again C4 and D4 and coming to C5 also. Okay, the lip is really cool. It's coming down to D5 and C5. Okay, oh, lovely chin. Most of the chin is sitting in D5. Then the cheek, the chubby cheek goes through E4. Comes through there. There's another side of this cheek that's you can see most of the cheek. That's also no, really chubby girl. Pretty. Yes, let's do that and bring it around B4, growing it to A3. And here I want to just stretch on this band that is going around A3 to B2, and then going up to C, touching closely C1, coming down to D2. Let's leave that there. We will think about it because we're going to have something else instead of the band. And the child here also has another band. So we will work on that. But the ear, where is it? It's in E3. Cool. The other ear is in A4. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, cool. And we'll have a little bit of hair here. We don't know what kind of tiara we're going to give her, but let's do the hair. Her face looks slightly bigger. The face of or almost equal though. Just gonna give slight curls here. And we will see what to do with the rest of it. And right now, I'm going to take the idea that she is crawling underneath here. Just giving there's this cloth and there is her hand. And so on. So I'm just leaving it there. We will figure out when we do the details a little further now. Yeah. So this is going to be. So we have managed to do 2 of these children. Okay, let's get back to the superstructure and see where all we need to go now. Let's do the shoulder. The shoulder is in here. Yeah. Bring it down a bit. But also remember it's the shoulder of a little girl, not the shoulder of a woman. Also remember the curves. A woman's curve, there is, there is breast and there is this hip curve that we will not do. So we have to make sure that it's slightly in alignment to the body here. And we don't get to see much of this side. She's seated. So I'm just bringing her down like this. There is this hip belt or something that she's wearing. That is fine. I'm going to do the shoulder, the jacket kind of thing here. And here we need to create, because there is this face of the child. We don't have the face of the child going on top. We have brought her down a little bit, isn't it, wantedly? So we have to kind of build the hand here. Yes, so this fits in her body size and most. So let's do her, she's seated, isn't it? So let's do her thigh here. Bring it down. It is crossing A3 and 4, but not too much. I'm just slightly downsizing it to keep in view that it's a body of a small girl. And then this one, the other side of her is possibly visible to a certain extent. We could also play around with it. I'm going to right away start building the lotus flower, so it helps me start planning on how far on the baby's side am I going to cover. Here you go. In the ear itself, we already have, so in the face itself, we already have something. So we can start hiding as much as we can of the body of the baby girl. Here. So it's really looking like she's jumping out of there. Popping out of the lotus. Yes. So that is a success here. Sustain that. Let's finish this lotus, kind of giving it wow. What an experiment. Are you enjoying this? Write to me. Are you finding it challenging? Yep. Yeah. And that's what I like about it, that there's a lot of things, parameters that will flow around in a way that isn't clearly visible at this time, and we still are growing and learning in this process. So I'm just doing the hand, and here this arm. So I'm doing this. Remember, we have 6 arms for this girl that we need to do, and I'm starting with the one that is clearly visible, and it has this kind of blessing blessing kind of hand. And this fingers marked. So I have this hand down. Okay, right enough. And she isn't that curvy now. Good. So that is done. We can make her face slightly bigger if we want also when we work on it. Yeah. Because it will make sense that, you know, it's challenge here is this hand that we need to really imagine. But before we do that, let's do the other hands that are slightly easy to attack. Right now, the hands that are easy to attack are the ones that have the colors. There is this vessel in her hand. Let's do that. Let's do both those hands. So I'm starting here. I'm in B3 going towards B2. And I do the same thing here, even though I'm not done fully with this hand. I'm going to do that. C3 going towards C2. Yes. And here. The hand that is holding is just, you know, like this. And there's this nice bend. And you see the thumb and the finger. And then the rest is all the vessel. What's on the vessel in terms of detailing right now? Just draw whatever you are, you know, seeing. But essentially, it's a coconut, and there are 3 leaves, 3 to 5. Usually, it's 5 leaves coming out. I think. We'll do the details later, but this is what it is. There will be some explanation videos, you know, along that you could see in my website, and also you know, I will do some pujas also, prayer ceremonies when the painting is done, and you will see the kalash physically kept that way. Hopefully when we get coconut also in this part of this world. Yeah? So that's about the hand and the kalash. Placing it like this, and letting it have a mouth, or there is this coconut and the space for the leaves. Okay, so we've managed those 2 hands. We already had 1 hand covered. Done. There's this hand with the sword. Yeah. Kalash is really full of the kalash. This is called the kalash. The 2 pots in her hands, and it's full of positive energy. Yeah. And then why the sword? To protect the child. You see the way the hand is placed. So the fingers are, you know, not gripping tight. So it's really, you know, in a way that the fingers are like this. So it's not gripping tight. There is a difference. Just be aware of that. Because when it isn't gripping tight, it's ready. It doesn't really, you know, go into the war mode. So I'm doing those tiny, tiny finger spaces and leaving the space for the thumb, and then in between I will start placing the sword here. Yes, let's do that. So that's exactly where the sword is sitting. We have another hand holding another war equipment, and I don't remember the name of it in English though. If you know, you could write down in the comments. The lucky thing is it's circular and it's covering the whole hand. Marking it like this. So this is done. The hand that is left over that needs to come front is her hand here, and I want it to come around her, around the baby girl. So what I'm going to do here is to rub off the portion of the thigh here, clear off the space a little bit. It's cluttered. It's not helping much in the process. I will remove the grids as well because I don't see the need of it anymore now. Okay, so I'm just going to imagine that the fingers are coming around her. Her hand is coming from here, yeah, kind of. So you will not see much of the hand, but what you will see is that there is the arm, and there is her. So let's do the arm here, the hand, kind of, you know, grabbing the forehead of the child in, you know. So I think we have managed that now, and now I could go back to building the folded foot, yeah, or leg, yeah. Okay, I guess we have managed a bit of this nicely. This has been an interesting learning also for me. And yeah, let's now summarize what we have done. So today's session was about executing the plan. So today's session we did the grids, 3 different grids, and then we started placing the face of the elder girl, 10-year-old, 8-year-old girl, in the form of Santhana Lakshmi, the goddess of progeny. And then we place this baby girl slightly, you know, not on the lap of the girl, but just bringing her down below here. Going to bring the face kind of like this. So that's what we did, and then we managed to adjust the size of the body and hands and so on of this Lakshmi image in accordance or in alignment to what we have created here of the girl. Yeah, we have the lotus also where she's seated. Good. I guess we are done with the overall planning and execution, and the next step for us is to go on into the mode of blocking the images. That's the layer 2 that we will continue to do in our next session, and that's when we will also be adjusting slightly a bit more onto the face, because yeah, at least in my case, I felt that I needed a little more space. Maybe I wanted it to be slightly bigger and so on. Maybe I will adjust it slightly a bit and bring it down there. Yeah, so let's meet up in the next session. Until then, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated, and let's meet. Bye bye.